straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani, and as you can see, I'm not in the studio. We are here at a city that's steeped in sporting culture. I'm in the Indian city of Hyderabad, and there's a very special reason, and that you will see tomorrow because a very, very special show is heading your way. But of course, we still have another one today, so the show must go on. So let's get started. Today we traverse from horror to comedy. Yes, it's still a sports show, and as we always say, sports is where the real and raw emotions exist. So we bring you a story of a sporting legend, a superstar being dubbed a terrorist. How did the Grandmaster himself react to this? What repercussions can we expect? Over in football, Jude Bellingham's anger has cost him suspension. What led to that, and how will this affect Real Madrid? And to get to the lighter side of sports as well, we bring you the thug life that is Rohit Sharma, the man who wears a crown of thorns, the captain of the Indian men's cricket team. How does he handle pressure? Apparently through his wit. Stay on for all of that and more, but first, a look at the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with tennis, it's happened again. Former world number one, Rafael Nadal, has once again come back to play and pulled out of the next tournament. This time, he's withdrawn from the Indian Wells ATP event. He says he's not ready to compete at the highest level just yet. But guess what? Rafael Nadal's absence will mean India's Sumit Nagal gets into that main draw. Over in Formula One, Max Verstappen has defended his father, Jos Verstappen, for his comment against Red Bull team principal Christian Horner. Verstappen says, and I quote, Jos is very outspoken, but he's not a liar, that's for sure. Verstappen, though, was tight-lipped on the Horner controversy. He did say that it would take something crazy for him to exit Red Bull. Over in football and the Champions League, defending champions Manchester City cruised into the quarterfinals. They secured an easy 3-1 victory over FC Copenhagen. Manuel Akanji, Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland were City's scorers. This was City's 10th consecutive win in the competition. Medals won by Russia and Belarusian athletes in Paralympics events this year will not be recorded on the medals table. So says the International Paralympic Committee. Athletes from these countries will be competing under neutral flags. So if a neutral athlete wins golds, the Paralympic anthem will be played instead. And in cricket, the fifth and final test between India and England kicked off today in Dharamshala. Devdutt Padikkal has debuted for India and earned his first test cap. He replaced, of course, Rajat Patidar, who sustained an ankle injury. India have an unassailable 3-1 lead in the 5-test series. Terrorists and extremists. Can you just imagine these words being associated with a sports person? And not just any sports person, but a chess legend. The man in question, of course, is Garry Kasparov. And the organization, calling him a terrorist and an extremist, is Russian financial monitoring agency Rosfinmonitoring. Kasparov has been added to the list of terrorists and extremists by Russia's financial watchdog. Shocking and disturbing. Why though? The organization didn't give any reasons, but it might have happened because of this, and we'll tell you why. Kasparov has been a long-time critic of President Vladimir Putin. He has even condemned Russia's military offensive in Ukraine. Kasparov, of course, left Russia in 2014 over the fear of persecution. He has been living in the US for a decade now and has been vocal of Russia and the Ukraine war. He has consistently urged the West to keep supporting Ukraine in the matter. Could this be a reason for a decorated chess grandmaster to be deemed a terrorist? Without even completely comprehending the far-reaching impact this could have, just listening to this, you and I know there will be consequences. There will be severe repercussions of this. Kasparov is likely to face, post this scary development, quite a bit of backlash. And let me break this down for you. The watchdog is responsible for combating money laundering and terror financing. And people added in the list can have their bank accounts seized. This all just sounds very terrifying. Kasparov is the same person who had a FIDE chess rating of 2,851 back in 1999. This was the highest recorded until it was finally surpassed by Magnus Carlsen more than a decade later in 2013. From 1984 to 2005, Kasparov was ranked world number 1 for a record 255 months. With 15 victories, he's also the record holder for the most consecutive professional tournament wins. He's also won the chess Oscars on a record 11 occasions. At 22, Kasparov became the youngest ever world champion in 1985. He defeated the then champion Anatoly Karpov. He became a household name. Kasparov meant chess, and chess couldn't exist without Garry Kasparov. He backed this up, of course, by winning the title thrice in 86, 87 and 90, proving then that he wasn't just a flash in the pan. That's the legacy he has, and his contribution to the sport is immense. He's coached current champions. Kasparov coached Magnus Carlsen in 2009. And it comes as no surprise that Carlsen even rose to world number 1 ranking during that phase. A legend who has not just succeeded himself, but contributed to others' success stories. And he's now being branded a terrorist. Well, it's sure to have rattled many, but Kasparov is clearly not many. There's a reason he's been a chess grandmaster, someone who checkmates from the most impossible situations. One who can hold his calm even when a storm is raging. That's how he was during his peak. And it's no surprising that's how he continues to be. Responding to this very troubled development, Kasparov took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to say this.
An honor that says more about Putin's fascist regime than about me. As Goldwater said, extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, and moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. But all opposition, or simple decency, must be called an extremist by the dictatorship.
Those are some strong words by Kasparov, clearly a reflection of his resilience, which was seen in his playing days too. Russia finds itself in a bit of a war with its own sportspersons. And it's not just Garry Kasparov that I'm referring to here or talking about, who's facing this ire. Their Olympic athletes are caught in the middle of the storm as well. Everyone knows that the Russian athletes will compete under a neutral flag, not something that any sportsperson who's played for his or her country can really truly digest or fathom. No flag, no emblem, no anthems if they do end up winning the gold. No spirit of the contest or fighting for the country that you belong to. The athletes who finish off on the podium in the Paralympics events in Paris will not have their medal wins recorded on the table. It's dark days for a lot of these athletes, things they probably didn't really expect. And Kasparov is facing the darkest to come. The one thing I can possibly take away from this very shocking episode is of Kasparov continuing to remain unshakable and calm, continuing to go ahead and believe in what he does, in his fighting spirit, proving what a champion he continues to be. Jude Bellingham is a star in the making. When Bellingham joined Real Madrid, many had their reservations about whether he would deliver at the club. But the midfielder seems to be proving a point. 20 goals and 9 assists across all competitions this season so far. Seems like he can't keep a foot wrong. Well, except this one time. Just when we thought it looked like a smooth ride for Bellingham, the Real Madrid star has been hit with a 2-match ban by the La Liga. This after Jude Bellingham, in true star footballer style, got into a heated argument during the game against Valencia.
When Jude Bellingham joined Real Madrid, he was given Zinedine Zidane's iconic jersey number 5. And not only did the star do justice to it, he owns it like he was meant to don it. Bellingham seems to be loving his stint at Real Madrid, scoring goals, assisting them, and of course the trademark celebrations. All the trappings that make him a pivotal member of the Real Madrid side. But now, Madrid will be without Jude Bellingham for their upcoming 2 La Liga fixtures. La Liga has banned the English star for his on-field argument with referee Jesus Gil Manzanos. Imagine this, a Real Madrid team that's reveling under him will be without his services. The 2 games he's set to miss are the ones against Celta Vigo and Osasuna. But why was he banned? What was the argument about? The Real Madrid vs Valencia game that ended in a 2-all draw could have finished 3-2 in Madrid's favour. Bellingham scored a goal, but it was just 2 seconds after referee Jesus blew the final whistle. Now, many thought it probably was a tad harsh by Jesus. because the ball was still in play and Madrid were in a position to score. The only issue was Bellingham, right after that whistle, excited the fans' sentiment. And the young blood put his case forward, engaging in an argument with the referee. And we know how Bellingham gives his all on the field, so he went all out here too. Things got nasty and Bellingham was given a red card. According to the referee's report, Bellingham displayed an aggressive attitude when he protested referee Jesus' decision. But Bellingham thinks otherwise.
I didn't think I said anything very offensive towards him. I think I ran in a manner that was similar to the rest of my teammates. I feel like at times, because I'm new and stuff, they want to try and make an example. I need to be responsible for my actions, and I gave him the excuse to send me off. I'm not happy with the ban, but I think if La Liga and the club appeal, there can be a better agreement, because I think 2 games is a bit ridiculous.
So fans were upset as it is, and the team manager Ancelotti too was not pleased with the way things panned out.
I don't need to talk to him about this. He's a player who always does his best on the pitch and he's doing great. Regarding the red card, I think it was wrong because he was actually frustrated, but he didn't insult anybody.
Players tend to go overboard with their on-field display. But given the intensity that football brings, certain things are bound to happen. Bellingham may have been aggressive in his approach, but was the red card justified? Was the 2-match ban a bit too much? You can be the judge of that. Comment on the story and let us know.
Rohit Sharma, the Indian cricket captain. For a while, many believed that that phrase of captain would not exist. Questions were raised after the World Cup loss India suffered at the hands of Australia. After Mumbai Indians franchise announced Hardik Pandya as captain to replace Rohit Sharma at the Indian Premier League, there were more voices clamoring against him. But you got to hand it to Rohit Sharma, the man wearing one of the most difficult job titles in the sporting world, that of the captain of the Indian men's cricket team, has not let that get to him, at least on the face of it. Sure, it's nice to win a series. I'm, of course, referring to the one that's currently on. India has an unassailable 3-1 lead over India. And it's nice to have a strong hold on the race to the World Test Championship final. But shutting out all the noise around you and inside your head is something that all athletes wrestle with. It's difficult to do. Which is why when Rohit Sharma talks, he lets his swag and his cool attitude do all the talking. Everyone who has covered cricket for a decent amount of time knows Rohit Sharma is a man of not very eloquent words. He'll admit it himself, but when he wants to and is asked the right questions, you will get that chill, quirky, thug life side to him. Like the time when a reporter asked him to wish a certain cricketer because it was his birthday, Rohit smiled, gave a quizzical look and said, "What can I say? Just happy birthday, right? That's all you say." The room giggles because he has that effect. And this series against England has been no different. We'll, of course, start with the latest in the line of his one-liners. He's asked about Ben Duckett's comment on Indian cricketer Yashasvi Jaiswal's batting being inspired by Bazball. You remember that very ill-thought-out statement. It received much flack from England's former cricketers and captains themselves. Nasir Hussain, in particular, was pretty annoyed. But when Rohit is asked to respond, he nails it with this. He says there was a player called Rishabh Pant. Maybe Ben Duckett has not seen him bat in tests. The mic drop moment is so well timed. And if Ben Duckett has not had enough of repartees to a comment he probably never thought much before saying, then this one will surely get him to wish that he didn't have said that at all in the first place and probably rewind to not have made that statement. And it's not just press conferences, though that is when you see Rohit at his indulgent best. Rohit Sharma on the field is just as hilarious. He's almost this big brother, father figure in the dressing room. The side is filled with youngsters, we know it. So much of his instructions or his suggestions that get picked up on the stump mic is a gem to listen to. And it's as if he's shepherding his kids, schooling them to behave or follow up on what he's saying. Like when Sarfaraz Khan decided to field in a close-in position without wearing a helmet. And Rohit is quick to snap at him. Don't try being a hero, he says, and just wear your helmet. There is no retort. The father has spoken. And it's not just with the new kids in the block. Rohit dishes it out to the seniors in the side too. Ravindra Jadeja, in one of the sessions during the series, had bowled a few no-ball deliveries. So Rohit gently scolds him and reminds him that no more no-ball deliveries. And then adds that Rohit Sharma touch, saying, think of this as a T20 match. No balls allowed here. What makes these things, of course, stick and funny is not just the lines that he delivers and he thinks of so spontaneously, it's the way he says them. The expressions are on the money. They have this trademark exasperated look sometimes, or maybe he also breaks into a smile himself. That kind of humor just lightens what anyway is a very charged up, intense atmosphere, as we know it. In all of sporting world and disciplines across, you need these mic drop moments now and then. And it's sort of part of his demeanor, his captaincy, and the way he leads. He doesn't praise the youngsters too much.
I don't want to talk too much about him. He has started his career on a high. I want him to continue doing so. Yeah, looks like a good player.
Like those fathers who, even after the child has brought an A+ grade, will say, yeah, this is all right, but carry on. And he also doesn't hesitate to lay down the law.
We will only give chances to the ones who have that hunger. You eventually get to know who doesn't have that hunger to play tests. It's a tough format, and if you want success and if you want to excel, then hunger is very important.
That good cop, bad cop rolled into one gets the job done. Rohit Sharma can be cool, calm and chill when the situation calls for it, and also be just as harsh and strict when he needs to be. It comes with experience. Just the sight of all the younger players gathering around him, especially egging him to go for a DRS review, is quite a sight. It's just like the children all gathered around their father or big brother trying to get their word in. The fifth and final test, of course, started today in picturesque Dharamshala, some historic numbers headlining the test. India's R. Ashwin and England's Johnny Bairstow both playing their 100th test. Ashwin, of course, received a guard of honour as well. So quite a bit to look forward to over the next few days, including Rohit Sharma's one-liners. There might be more of it. Time for last serve here. There's a lot of course, off-the-track talks happening around Formula One, so much so that not much attention is being given to the races itself. So we'd like to do that here. As we close the show, take a look at Jeddah in Saudi, all getting decked up and ready for race number 2. But that does it here on Firstpost. Thank you so much for joining in here on a very special show. But do stay tuned for something absolutely memorable coming your way tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.